please join me in honoring Zoe Guirlinger of Ultimate Youth.
You know, it's not that often that I, at my age, get to have butterflies in my stomach. So I'm really enjoying this. Wow, I'm blown away. Thank you so very much. You guys look good. Really good from up here. NAWBO is such an incredible organization, and I am so thankful for this opportunity. It is nothing short of a blessing and a gift to be a member of NAWBO, and I have received so much from this organization. And sorry, these women really do go above and beyond to give and take care of each other. So thank you, NAWBO, and thank you to all of the sponsors that give their part to make this possible for all of us. Of course, I wouldn't be standing here today, too, if it wasn't for all of the amazing people in my life that have made my journey possible and pleasurable. And so I'd like to acknowledge some of those people today. Of course, my husband and business partner, Troy McGowan. And Troy is kind and giving and patient, and he has given up so much so that I could pursue my passion. Thank you, babe. And then, of course, I want to thank my father, Zoe Guirlinger, whose entrepreneurial determination and success taught me at an early age that anything is possible. And I've learned far more from him than he'll ever know. Don't tell him that. And so thank you, Dad. I definitely wouldn't be up here today, not for all of your support.
You're welcome.
I also want to thank my terrific mentor, Tom Wentz, with Corporate Performance Systems. Tom and I were connected through the Athena PowerLink program. And Tom's business philosophies and teachings are nothing short of sheer genius. And in fact, I have incorporated them as the foundation of my business model and vision today. And Tom, you have enlightened me in so many ways. I just pray that I have the ability to bring it to its fruition. Thank you. And I also want to thank my longtime mentor and champion, Leslie Nolan, who's not here today. But Leslie was the first big fish to drink my Kool-Aid. And she selflessly gave her time and business acumen to guide me for some 8 years now. And I especially thank her for believing in me long before I believed in me. I also want to thank my dear friend and cheerleader, Vicki Sugar, and my staunch supporter, my sister, Jenny Litzelfeller, and my always there for me brother, Jerry Guirlinger. You guys have all supported me in your own ways, and you have given me the courage to keep moving forward in those times that I didn't have the strength or faith to do so. So, thank you. Thanks so much to Patty Kimball, who's videotaping me right now, because Patty believe so much in Ultimate You that she nominated me for this crazy visionary award thing. Thank you, Patty, and thank you also to everyone in Ultimate You. You know, I'm so lucky I get to stand up here and accept on behalf of Ultimate You, but really it's the great team of folks, and Fran and Jenny and Patty and Krista are here today, but it's those folks who give their all every day to make a difference for our clients. And I'm so proud of the good work you do, and I'm so proud to be associated with you. So thank you for that. Okay, I gotta just take a little deep breath here. You know, visionary, if I've ever done anything different in my business, it's not because I was trying to be a visionary. It's just because it's what I believed I needed to do to pursue a mission really that was greater than me. And today I'm excited to be here, not just because I get this really cool award to display, it's beautiful, but more importantly because I have this precious opportunity to connect with all of you leaders, and you have the potential to impact the wellness of your organizations and your communities and your families. And I believe that leaders like you really need to understand the underlying causes of the obesity and depression epidemics. And I believe that when you do, you will be the heroes that transform our nation. And so that's why I'm most excited to be up here today. And as I talk about those epidemics, I think one thing I would like to share with you about my own story, about why I care so much about what I do, that I don't think maybe was communicated in that video, was just how severely I suffered personally, mentally, physically, and emotionally due to my weight struggles and my health struggles. And, you know, I finally did find a way to a healthy body and weight, and I did that by swearing off the fad diets and the quick fixes. But back then, I really suffered so much from pain and exhaustion that I couldn't have imagined living another 10, 20, 30 years feeling that way. And so when I found my way to that new place, I knew that there were others, many others, like 100 million others who were suffering like I had. And I knew that I had to do what I could do to make a difference. And that's when I stopped my career and I really started my calling. So, you know, you might be surprised that my wellness transformation and that of hundreds of my clients was not the result of following some new rigid diet or exercise program, but it was really the result of learning about these unseen barriers to healthy living and about developing the skills to overcome them. And that's really what our mission is at Ultimate You. And it's such an important mission for all of us. You know, you probably know that at this time our great nation is in the grips of two devastating interrelated epidemics, the obesity and depression epidemics. And the consequences of these epidemics are staggering, and the ever-increasing number of victims is cause for great alarm. Change, transformational change, as Tom once puts it, is urgent, it's important, and it's desperately needed. Did you know that depression is 10 to 20 times more likely to affect us now than just 50 years ago? It's the plague of the modern era, and it affects some 15 million Americans in any given year. Depression is the #1 cause of of disability in our country. And some 225 million workdays are lost every year as a result. Sadly, the obesity statistics offer no solace. Since 1985, I know you know this, obesity levels have doubled, and 40% of Americans are projected to be obese by 2018. That's just 7 years from now. Do you know the amount of the healthcare price tag associated? Got some guesses on that. $344 billion are expected in obesity-related healthcare costs by 2018. And you know, all of us bear the cost of this burden. We bear it through increased insurance premiums across the board, increased taxes to support government-sponsored medical programs and unemployment benefits, and we also bear it in the form of lost productivity at work. You know, and if that wasn't enough, let's talk about our kids for a minute, because this is where we really need to listen. Obesity in children has risen 2 to 3-fold in the U.S. just in the last 25 years. And I know you've heard this, but many experts predict that this generation, our kids, will be the first generation that don't live as long as their parents due to the health consequences associated with the obesity epidemic. You've heard of type 2 diabetes, right? You know about that one? You know, it was originally named that because it was the kind that adults got, right? After age 45 historically. And it's often associated with lifestyle, like high chronic sugar intake, lack of exercise, smoking, these kinds of things. You know this. Once diabetes is present, the disease progresses over 10 to 20 years. And it causes a lot of damage to the body, as you know, that can result in serious health complications like heart attacks, kidney failure, blindness, losing limbs to amputation, and stroke. Some medical experts are now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. And they think that the brain pathology associated with Alzheimer's is just the natural progression of the damage done by diabetes. In fact, type 2 diabetics are 4 times as likely to get Alzheimer's. And these days, we're seeing type 2 diabetes showing up in our kids. And this escalates the timeline of the whole disease process. When we used to see these serious complications after age 45, we're seeing them show up earlier and earlier. And by age 30, some kids are already having those life-threatening health complications like heart attacks and heart bypass surgery. Well, we can imagine our future. Fast forward to a nation in which nearly half, that's like 100 million people, nearly half of 40 and 50-year-olds in the prime of their life are suffering from the serious health complications of obesity and diabetes and dementia. That's our workforce. Who will pay those $344 billion in healthcare costs? Imagine that we're talking about the future of our kids. They're the ones who will have to deal with this mess. I don't think that that's the legacy we want to leave them. And so what I find really tragic, if I haven't shared enough that's tragic, is that despite these compelling statistics, and this is what I'm really here to talk to you about today, is that Americans appear to care less now than ever. Let me share a recent WebMD article which said this: though researchers have repeatedly sounded the alarm about America's bulging waistlines, a new survey shows that those warnings appear to be falling on deaf, or at least confused ears when it's time to eat. The survey finds that concern about weight and weight loss efforts are at an all-time low. Levels of inactivity appear to be on the rise too. The number of Americans who say they are sedentary in 2011 as compared to 2010 has in just 1 year increased by 6%. At the same time, fewer people in the survey considered themselves to be overweight this year as compared to last, though their reported weights and heights landed them in that category. Fewer people are consciously choosing foods based on the impact they have on their health and weight, and fewer people are even trying to lose or maintain weight. David L. Katz, MD, MPH, who is the founding director of the Yale University Prevention Research Center, says this: when you're relying on quick fix solutions to this problem, and you've tried them all, and you do reach a point where you stop believing, maybe to some extent, people have decided that they're going to stop trying. Well, I do believe we should stop trying. We should stop trying the quick fix, pain and suffering approach. Haven't we already proven it to ourselves that it doesn't work? And you know that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You know, but there is another way. And before I share that way, I want to make sure that you're able to hear it. Because I know that when it comes to talking about health and wellness, a lot of people have a lot of difficulty listening. And that's because we're listening with one of two filters. The first filter sounds like this: I'm in control of my health and weight, and everybody else should be too. It's a matter of personal responsibility. You know, problem is people are just weak, lazy, and unmotivated. The second filter sounds like this: I'm personally out of control in this area. I'm really uncomfortable that you're talking about it. The mere mention of a topic makes me feel like a failure. But what do both of these statements have in common? They both draw the same conclusion, and it's false. Concluding that our struggles are the result of personal flaws or weakness leads us to a dead-end street. We stop looking for other possible explanations. I already know why it is the way it is. I'm broken. He's broken. We're broken. And if we're not looking for answers, we're certainly not going to find them. And this is the phenomenon we see reflected in that survey. People have tried the quick fixes and found they don't work. They blame themselves and they give up. And our children are paying the price. But what if it wasn't them? What if it was the quick fix that didn't work? So back to the WebMD article, Dr. Katz said, nobody wants to acknowledge a problem they can't fix. We have not done a nearly good enough job empowering people to make them feel like they really can get to the prize being sustainable weight loss, their weight controlled without being hungry and miserable for the rest of their life. But I'm here to tell you, we can. We can get to the prize. We can learn how to control our weight without pain and suffering and without being hungry and miserable. And we do not have to endure poor health and depression. And the main thing standing in our way as a culture is the belief that we ought to already know how to do it. The truth is, depression and obesity are not the result of our personal flaws. They are the result of a complex set of factors, side effects of modern living, if you will, that manufacture obesity and depression. And Americans don't understand this, and we don't know what we don't know. We think it's really quite simple. It's about calories in. Move more, eat less. Take in fewer calories than you burn and you'll lose weight. Yes, we've heard that for 40 years, right? Okay, at this point, this guidance is about as helpful as telling a golfer, all you have to do to golf your ideal game is put the ball in the hole. That's helpful. Not. Anyone who golfs will tell you there are dozens, if not hundreds, of factors that influence whether or not the ball goes in the hole, right? To someone who doesn't golf like me, they are unknown and unseen. And the proposition looks pretty simple. Just put the ball in the hole. Well, learning to maintain a healthy weight is much the same. If we want to overcome the obesity and depression epidemics, then we have to look below the surface for the missing pieces. And we have to ask, what's happening at a biological level that makes this so difficult? What's the effect of our processed foods diet? How does the quantity and the quality of the food that I put in my body affect my performance at the dinner table or my ability and desire to move more? What's the effect? You know, Jeannie shared a statistic that we as women business owners are generating $3 trillion in business. Okay? What is the effect of the $13 trillion spent annually by the food industry marketing machine to get us to eat these processed foods? That's 4 times what women business owners are making in the entire country is getting spent to get us to eat these foods. And how about the psychological and physiological effects of chronic stress? What role does the environment play? How do our social experiences factor in? How would our kids benefit if we just committed to connecting around fitness a little more and connecting a little less around food? These and more are the unseen barriers that make the simple calorie equation so darn difficult to balance. And it's my mission to help Americans understand and overcome these barriers. And the exciting thing is this, that no matter how long people have struggled, when they get the right information and the right tools in place, it's magic. And that is a very satisfying thing to see. Leaders, we have the responsibility to educate ourselves about these barriers. And we have the responsibility to be role models on the road to change. And instead of blaming each other or ourselves, we need to be asking, why is it that healthy living is so difficult? And how can we create the conditions within which people would find it easy to succeed? We need to come at this in a brand new way. I challenge you, be heroes, take action, contact me. I'll work with you and your team and your organization, and we'll get you the missing pieces. You can create a transformation in your organization, in your community, in your family. You know, sometimes when I feel that my mission is too daunting, as I will say that I frequently do, I find inspiration in these words from Margaret Mead. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." I believe that we can change our world. And I believe that change began here today. And I thank you again so very much for the opportunity to speak with you in this incredible honor today, and for your time and for opening your minds to thinking about this in a new way. And I look forward to connecting with each one of you personally and working together to create a new future for our children, one that will make us very proud because we let go of the blame and the shame, and we did the right thing for our kids. Thank you very much.